Thank you for watching and listening. I want to share the story about the friend I had in Nanyang Polytechnic that turns out to be part of the cult. Her name rhymes with banana, so let's call her Banana. So I never approached her. She was the one who approached me, and then she started telling about how grateful she was because I was kind and uh, because she was bullied in school. And back then, I was empathetic. I didn't know I was easily gaslit. I didn't know I was being gaslit because I constantly felt bad for people, things like that. So kindness, lesson learned, kindness without boundaries is dangerous because not only can it harm you, it can also harm your entire family. Because this is what they do. They just need to get to one person in order to open the floodgates. Anyway, she portrays herself as a feminine, demure, pious girl. She doesn't wear tudung at that point. She didn't wear tudung at that point. But she claims that her family is religious. Her father was friends with the local mufti. Mufti is like a religious leader, the official representative of the religion in that country, okay, or in the community. And she often talk about the things that happen to her family. And when she tell you, and then you reciprocate back, and then immediately she say, "How do you know? I mean, like, you just told me a minute ago," and then she get angry at you when you ask, like you ask questions, right? So she came from a very pampered background. She's well supported financially, never had to work. So she's one of those their first job is in their 20s or mid 20s because so pampered, right? No need to work, but so ungrateful, so so spoiled rotten that she doesn't see how lucky she was. Still is, and because she's so this spoiled brat, they're so spoiled. When they go out in the world, they behave that way, and then they find people who are naturally givers, people who are empathetic, people who are nice, who are helpful to take advantage of. So they manipulate you into becoming their servants, manipulate you into becoming their helper without realizing. So one thing that she regularly does is she's too lazy to bring sanitary pads. Initially, she will trap you in the sense that when you're in the toilet, oh my god, I'm having my periods, I need a pad. So initially you help, right? But then it became too often. You started asking, why don't you bring extra pads? And then her reply was, that's my mother's job. I was like, what? It's my mother's job to bring sanitary pads for me. And then this somebody, she was already in her 20s, behaving that way. So age is just a number, to be frank. When you're spoiled brat, I met spoiled brats who are in their 50s, in their 60s, in their 70s, they've been catered to. And when you mention spoiled brat, you don't only mean people who come from wealthy background, like rich people, no. Average, normal, or poor people can be spoiled brat too because they have their mothers who pamper them too much, mothers who cater to them, who clean up after them, things like that. That's why I met colleagues or people who work at the same company who are very dirty because they come from that household. They're not rich, but they are pampered. They don't have to do household chores. They don't even have to wash dishes because this girl Banana, she told me, to her it's a normal thing, and it's for her it's like a proud something to be proud of. She's very proud of that. She said her mother would chase her out of the kitchen, telling her that she doesn't have to do any chores. It's her mother's job to clean for her. So she said, like, well, after drinking a cup of milk or whatever drink, I would just put it in the sink and let my mother do the work. I met people like that. People who are sometime in their 30s telling me that washing the shoe once is considered doing household chores, and you're already 27, 28. So these kind of people, over time, when you work with them, they will take advantage of you one way or another. They will find a way to manipulate you. And if you're not aware, if you're distracted, you realize that you end up doing things for them. You end up becoming their so-called pseudo servant. And then I recall other times where we went to the washroom, And then in the toilet, she started screaming, "You think you're so fair? I'm much more fairer than you!" Screaming at the top of her lungs. I was like, what's wrong with this girl? Because she says, I realize now that it was a one person, one sided competition. She was competing with him. You thought, I thought she was a friend. Turned out she was competing. And the only reason why she befriended me, because that's that's her duty given by the cult and her own jealousy to keep me anxious, to keep me scared, to keep me fearful, because she play on my anxiety, because I always constant worry I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna do well. So she said, hey, you better drop this subject. If you drop German language, your GPA will be better, blah blah blah, things like that. And then I was so scared, oh my god, am I gonna fail? German is so difficult. So I did. So they play on your anxiety and things like that. Every single low vibrational ones, even the colleagues as well, they do that. They gaslight you, they manipulate you, twist and turn words. Because I like people who are like me, we are so used to being gaslit, we don't even know it's wrong. Sorry, my nose has been really itchy every single time trying to record about this, but today is quite bad. It wasn't itchy a while ago. Anyway, and I recall the one time randomly, she likes to talk about blowjobs. How is it related? Like she find a way to weave the topic into the conversation. Come to think of it, every single one of them are like that. Talking about dying, talking about blowjobs. And I was thinking, I was constantly worried. I was thinking, oh my God, how am I going to get a job? Things like that. This so and so, he removed his ribs so that he can suck his penis. And she kept talking about blowjob every opportunity she can get. But she behaves differently when they are in a group, when we are in a group. So especially when there are men around, males around, she started being coquettish. And her voice became so soft. She became so feminine, so demure, like damsel in distress. And then, I have phobia of boys. I have phobia of boys. But the whole time, she couldn't stop talking about blowjobs, talking about having boyfriend, talking about boys and boys and boys and boys. I mean, she really showed who she was. Unfortunately, I was foolish enough to ignore all the red flags. And this is what happened until one day she talked about my funeral. I was only 17 years old. Why are you talking about my funeral? Why are you describing my funeral? And then she talked about what she's gonna wear, how she's gonna act, and then she told me, if you die, not if you die, when you die, I'm gonna cry. And then she was describing my funeral and all that. The way she talked about it is as though it's for sure is going to happen within this past few years. During that time while we were in Polytechnic, I was like, why are you talking about my funeral all of a sudden? You don't hear me talking about your funeral or dying. We're just talking about graduating and you're talking about me dying? So that was a big indicator because she got tired of acting to be a friend. Because that's her job. So I didn't realize I was being gaslit and manipulated. And she was being fake. People show you who they are. People say what they're gonna do to you. We just keep letting it go. And people, women especially, all this girl power, women supporting women, don't believe it. You have to support yourself. You have to watch your own back, because half the time women are willing to drop kick an innocent woman to help a man or to help themselves or just to watch another woman suffer. And then fast forward, I don't really keep much contact with her, but I didn't change my number. So she, every now and then, she will call me to meet up, and then she only call me when she has something that she needs. Like, I want to cook for my boyfriend. Can you accompany me to my mango? So at that point again, foolish enough. Okay, yeah, sure, what? And then she started making fun of me. It's like, oh, you live in a rental flat. And then suddenly I had acne, right? The acne came because the Indonesian classmate did a ritual. The Indonesian Chinese guy, he did a ritual beauty spell, whatnot. I suddenly had acne from perfect clear skin, suddenly whole face. And then I was like panicking and worried. I don't know what happened. Suddenly the acne just came like that. And then she was being sarcastic. She was smiling. Maybe you should plaster your whole face. Meanwhile, the whole time when she had acne during the time in school, never once did I make fun of her. So people show you who they are. She was being fake all along. And come to think of it, when I told her, I suspected someone is doing, I'm under spiritual attack. Do you know any ustads or anything to help? And no, 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 I think you're crazy, lah, blah, blah, things like that. She would just gaslight you and dismiss you. In hindsight, I know why. And she talked about how her father is friends with Mufti and things like that. So I asked, so can you give me the number so I can contact them to help, to ask for help? And she was being dismissed. I don't know, lah. You know those kind of people. They have no interest in helping you, but they have interest in knowing everything. So that's what she was. And it accumulated to a point that she didn't stop doing these black magic rituals until maybe last 2 years, or maybe a year ago. She was trying to sacrifice me the whole time. So she, along with the Indonesian guy, along with the stepmother and other cult members. So you just don't know. She came from a Muslim household. Parents didn't know. She's the one that the parents doesn't know that she joined. She's practicing devil stuff, demonic stuff. The parents doesn't know. The parents don't know. So you live in the same household, yet you don't know what your children are doing, what your family members are doing behind your back. Because at the end of the day, it's individual, right? Whether you're jealous, whether whatnot. But I can sense why she became that way, because she was spoiled. She never had to worry about finances, fully supported, ungrateful, and very greedy. Because people who never suffer, they like to cosplay like they're suffering. Do you know those victim mindset people? People who are actually suffering, sometimes you don't talk because you're too exhausted. And yet people who are over the top with exaggerating, dramatic people, they are the loudest because they just want attention. I'm going to stop this here. And as usual, call back your energy, cleanse your energy, protect your energy, discern and set boundaries. Thank you for watching.